What's up, guys? My name is Zavier Gussett. I'm here with UCM D lineman Chima Dunga right here. One of the best D linemen out of D2 coming for this next draft. So how you doing, Chima?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm blessed. Can't complain.
That's great to hear. I'm excited to talk to you today.
Yes,
This
sir.
past year, I know you had 55 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, and 3.5 sacks at playing nose tackle for UCM. So I want to ask a couple quick questions to get everyone watching to get to know you and everyone watching. Is that good?
Yes, sir. That's fine.
All right, cool. First one, I got a big one. LeBron or Jordan for you?
I'm a LeBron guy, man. I gotta go with that 2011 Miami Heat's team. They were stacked D-Wade, Chris Bosh. I think Haslam Harris was on that team. Norris Cole. I mean, I gotta go with that 2011 LeBron team, them Heat's team.
Okay, over the 96 Bulls?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Back in the day, the NBA was full of goons, but man, just watching LeBron James play basketball, is basically he's like a defensive lineman playing basketball on the basketball court. So I gotta go with
I like
LeBron.
that.
Yes,
I love
sir.
that comparison. The next one I want to ask, Drake or Kanye for you?
Drake.
I like this. Drake? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about Travis Scott or Future?
Future. I don't really listen. I'm not really a Travis Scott guy. I'm more of like Future. Future is more of his ongoing
Yeah.
music for real.
Okay, I got that. What about Xbox or PlayStation for you, Chima?
Uh, I'm not really a gamer, but I mean, I'll go with the PlayStation. Yeah.
All right. All right, these are solid answers so far. I could have picked you out for each one of these. What about, growing up? I want to hear, were you more college football or NFL growing up?
I was more college football because, growing up, college football is more like fast tempo for real. And I guess like I was more like a college football guy growing up. I watched more college football than NFL football, but now I watch more of NFL football than college football because, when I was younger, college football was more of a thing for me. I just like the pace of the college football game.
Okay. I mean, definitely they're different, obviously, but they both got their own pros and cons. And the last one before I want to get into some of the ones about your career. If you could play another position other than anywhere D-line, what would you pick and why?
I would play fullback. I mean, I enjoy playing fullback because in high school I played fullback for real. So I
Fullback?
enjoy like just getting under another guy's pads and just like throwing them out the club. So I would play fullback for real. I think if that was my secondary sport, I'd be fullback.
Okay. And you did both in high school? You played offense and defense, fullback?
Yeah. I played both sides in high school, leading up until my senior year. I played both sides until when I transferred. I played both sides in high school at my first school.
Okay, gotcha. That's crazy. I mean, obviously, I know watching you as a D tackle, you can kind of see, you got the lateral movement of a fullback and stuff. So that's interesting to hear. I didn't know that before. Tell me, just growing up in terms of what was your favorite NFL team, and then who are some maybe some guys that you kind of looked at, watching growing up, trying to add to your game or model years after theirs.
Growing up, my favorite NFL team is the Eagles. I enjoy watching Michael Vick play while I was younger. Michael
Okay.
Vick was when he played for the Eagles, he was a dog. I think it was one year they had like the miracle at MetLife when the Eagles were down to the Giants, and then like he pulled that they pulled off like a last minute victory. I guess like he threw like a Hail Mary to Deshaun Jackson. So like I mean, I was more of like a Michael Vick fan growing up for real. I was more of like
Okay.
a fan, yeah.
All right. What about like D lineman and stuff? I know like you're from Jersey, like you said, to the Eagles, but who comes to mind in terms of D lineman that you kind of looked at growing up?
I was more of I like Osim and Miura on the Jets for real. I mean,
For the Giants, yeah.
yeah, I
I
mean
mean,
on the
yours.
Giants, I was more like an Osim and Miura guy because back in the day when I was younger, the Giants were really nice for real. They had like Michael Strahan on that D line, Justin Tuck,
Yeah.
Osim
It's hot,
on that
good.
line too. So I think growing up, I really looked up to like Osim and Miura growing up on Giants.
That's interesting. I mean, that was a tough line. They had a bunch of studs on that line, like you said. But I mean, being an Eagles fan, that's interesting to hear. That's funny.
Yeah.
Next, I want to hear, as a lineman, tell me, in the trenches and stuff, how do you get, your mentality or your confidence together to kind of go up against bigger guys and get in their face?
Especially D line. Like the way I think about D line playing football, especially at the D line position. The D line position is a gladiator sport, so like you just gotta have like a mean mentality when you're in the trenches for real. because I mean, off the field I have a mental switch, but like on the field I have a mental switch. Like when the dude's in front of me, I must defeat the guy for real. Like, and the D line is a dog eat dog world. You gotta get your hands dirty. You gotta have like that mean aggressive mentality for real. So that's how I just think about D line as a gladiator sport for real. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, no, for real, man, definitely. That's exactly what you put it is perfect. Have you always had that, type of switch to be able to be cool and then, crazy the next, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I know when to turn that switch on, especially playing football for real, because at the end of the day, you gotta play this game with passion for real. Like you gotta play this game with 110% for real. So I mean, I definitely have that mean streak mentality, especially on the D line for real. So it was always a thing growing up for me. So I mean, that's never been an issue for me. I always turned that switch on when I'm on the D line.
Okay. Have you ever been a guy that talks trash or talks shit to guys or starts chirping at all?
I can't talk trash for real because with me, like I gotta stay humble for real. So like I'm the type of person that I gotta stay focused for real. When I talk trash, I'm talking myself out my game for real. So whenever I talk trash, I can't really talk trash. But I just let my play do the talking to tell you the truth.
Okay, you just gotta stay focused, do what you do.
Stay focused,
Yeah, facts. I gotcha.
Sure.
Tell me, just through this off season, I know you've had a long off season so far already. What has it been like? Getting ready for the draft between getting an agent and doing everything that you've been like. What has it been like just this off season?
It's been a long off season. After football season, once January hit, I started my pro day training from like January leading up to pro day. So I mean, it's really been a huge off season. With this whole process, I met a bunch of guys through this process for real. I had the opportunity to go to Florida and train with Larry Ogunjobi. He's actually on the Bengals for well. He was on the Bengals, but he's a free agent now. He's probably one of the most dominant like defensive tackles in the NFL for real. So like I happened to have an opportunity to train with him during the off season for real. And I was also training with the head coach. He was a former head coach. His name is Andrew Swayze. Um, he was a former head strength and conditioning coach at Miami. So like he definitely got my technique better with my 40 time and helped me get faster and explosive. So it was definitely a great opportunity through the whole draft process for real. This whole pro day process.
That's crazy to hear, especially like you said, some of the bigger things you've been focusing on. That's definitely great. Tell me, have you, between all of this, had to change your diet at all, or have you been able to, just eat everything and kind of turn it to muscle?
I mean, I actually had to like my diet was another thing with my performance. Where I had to like switch up what I was eating for real because you are what you eat for real. It definitely like shows with your diet. So I tend to like eat a lot better now. So with this whole process, I had to like drop some weight too because I mean, right after football season, I was around like probably like 313. So I had to like drop like a good 10 pounds going into like pro day for real. So your diet is definitely a huge factor for real. So that definitely helped me a lot. Just dropping some weight down going into pro day with this whole pro day training for real.
Damn. I know you came from JuCo. I know you went to Lackawanna. I'm actually in Scranton right now, so I'm like 5 minutes from there.
Yeah.
And you went to Morgan State and obviously UCM this past year. Tell me, being a smaller school guy, coming from smaller schools, how have you been focusing on, getting used to playing NFL talent once you get there, obviously?
With me, I mean, I played at Lackawanna, so like just playing at that JuCo level, I definitely play with a bunch of dogs for real. So I mean, just coming out of a smaller school, you definitely gotta play with an edge. You gotta just play with a purpose for real because like the odds of a smaller school guy going to the NFL is kind of slim.
Yeah.
So like you just gotta play with a purpose and you gotta play with a chip on your shoulder for real. So just like put all the politics aside with the whole small school playing in the NFL for real. I just play with an edge on a chip on my shoulder, and I play with an edge for real. So like at the end of the day, I think I think the whole political aspect of a small school football, FBS football. At the end of the day, if you could ball, you could ball. Someone could find you for real. So I just play with an edge with a chip on my shoulder for real. So that's the way I look at it.
Right. No, that's cool to hear. Definitely that you're not, getting too much involved in the politics and stuff of, going the transition, obviously. You can see watching your film, you're a quick guy, you're big, obviously. So that's the type of stuff that's going to obviously be able to translate in your game as a pass rusher and as a nose tackle and everything else you do. Let's talk about, aspects of your game that you're comfortable in, going into the NFL right now.
I think I'm a legit run stopper. If the ball I won't let the
Yeah.
ball get my gap for real. Like I feel like I'm stout in the trenches for real. I'm a legit run stopper, and when it comes to pass, I'm a power rusher too. I'll do everything to collapse that collapse the pocket of the quarterback for real. And one thing about me is like I show effort for real. I play with this game with 110% effort, so I'll definitely run to the ball. I'll show effort for real. So that's one thing about me. Like I said, I'm a run stuffer. Like I'll stop the run. Like I'm stout in the trenches for real.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said earlier, you can see, the balance in your game between, the being a great nose tackle and being able to stop the run and then getting past guys and, being able to throw guys to the side with a push pull or something and getting to the quarterback. You're obviously great at that.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, why do you wear number 0? I know you wore that this past year. Number 90, I think, at Morgan State. What do you wear 0 for?
So like the way I got the number for real, I transferred to UCM in the summer back in July, and I really wanted number 90 and 52, and that number was taken for real. So the former head coach at the time, Coach Jim Sabota, he's at Tulane now as the OC. He just sent me a text message. He was like, "Hey, we can make number 0 work." And at first, I was indecisive about the number. I was like, "Number 0? I mean, I don't know if I want to wear number 0 for real." And
Yeah.
then one day, the equipment manager showed me the number, and then
It looks good.
I tried the number on. I was like, you know what, we can make this work. And then, I mean, first game of the season, my teammates started making this. My teammates came up with 0 tolerance for real, with the number 0 for real, and I never looked back for real. The number happened to work out for real. So I mean, I didn't realize that number was a good number too. And plus, like, I was the first player in UCM football history to wear that number 0 too. So I felt like I set the
Are you the
tone in that number,
first?
bro. Yeah.
That's cool. That's real cool for
Yeah.
sure. Obviously, you can't wear that in the NFL. Do you have an idea, or are you just going to pick what comes to you?
My main goal is to get my foot in the door. What number they give to me, I'll just make that number work at the end of the day. I just want to ball at the end of the day and play football.
That's great to hear. I mean, obviously, like you said, 0 looks good on you. I don't know if there's a single digits you're going to get to wear, but that's pretty cool, obviously.
Yeah.
Tell me, I know, like we talked about, you played a lot of nose tackle last year. Have you been able to practice, going 3 tech or 5 tech along the whole D line a lot this offseason?
Yeah, like at UCM, even this past off season, I would line up. I would practice, like I would work out as a 3 technique, a 0, a shade for real. But like at the end of the day, all those 3 positions are still the same too. Even at UCM, I was playing a 3 technique, I was playing a 2I for real, and a 0. So at the end of the day, it's the same to me. It's just that those 3 positions relate. So I mean, I could play anywhere. I'm versatile I'm a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a perfect name for you, honestly, because like I said, your quickness and your twitch going into the gaps, obviously you'd be a perfect 3-5 or anything, honestly, across the line as someone who shoots gaps. I know, like we talked about earlier, the transition between, playing smaller school and like the mental aspect of it compared to the NFL is obviously a lot. What's the biggest thing that you're, focused on mentally wise in terms of, whether breaking down plays or playbooks or learning new stuff this off season? What are you focused on?
I'm just focused about I'm just mentally dialed in about like the scheme and just like learning the playbook for real, because talking
Okay.
to like most guys that play in the league and talking to former guys in the league, the thing that gets guys like cut and released from teams is just not knowing the playbook for real. And just like you can have like the whole physical for real, but you gotta have the mental for real. Like one of my coaches in JuCo told me this game of football is 90% physical, 10% mental for 10%. Not
10
it's
and 90, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. This game of football is 90%
90 mental.
10% physical for real. So just mentally dial in with the playbook and just like learning the scheme. That's a big transition for me. So I mean, that's a big thing that stays on my mind for real.
Yeah. And then obviously, like I said earlier, going to 3 different schools, is that something that, you've been able to learn so far? Is getting to read playbooks easier, your different schemes or different playbooks? Is that something that you've had a lot of experience with so far?
Yeah, just like going to 3 different schools, I definitely like learning the playbook was just obviously me like learning 3 playbooks. That's a big thing for me. Even when I transitioned and transferred to UCM, like learn the playbook there was kind of like I'm not gonna say it was hard for real, but it was a huge thing for me, because you think most guys that transfer to another school their last year of college football, sometimes it's hard for them to transition and learn that scheme for real. But just learning that playbook really wasn't an issue for me. So I mean, that's as long as I'm locked in with the playbook, that I'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah, no, that's great. And like you said, you can play anywhere on the line. So obviously coming into the NFL, that's going to be an edge, like a step up. You got on a lot of guys. I know you're a smaller D lineman. Have you ever, Tommy, taken stuff from guys, you know, like obviously Aaron Donald's one of the more known smaller guys. Have you taken stuff from guys like him, you know, to add it to your game?
Yeah, I actually like the way Aaron Donald plays. Like, I've been following Aaron Donald when he was playing at Pittsburgh for real. So
Yeah,
I'm really a fan of Aaron Donald for real. Like, I've definitely watched Aaron Donald's film, break down his film, the way he plays his game for real, the way he gets leverage and inside control on the offensive lineman, the way he gets all blocks for real. I definitely watched a lot of Aaron Donald. Also watched John Randall too. John Randall's, he played back in the day for real, for the Vikings back in like the late 90s to like the early 2000s for real. So John Randall's he's a dog for it. He also went Division II as well. And John Randall's really undersized. He probably weighs about like 285 at like 6 foot. So like, I've watched a bunch of undersized guys like Poona Ford on the Seahawks for real too. So I definitely watch undersized defensive linemen for real, because you know at this game of football now, you don't even have to be that big for real. It's all about technique for real.
Yeah, and obviously, like we've been talking about, you got the the twitchiness and the type of jump athleticism that it takes for faster D linemen to kind of get through there, and obviously you're a bigger guy too, so you got everything. Tell me, when you talk to coaches and stuff, what is there an aspect to your game that they kind of like about you in particular?
With me, like I said, like I show effort for real, and I'm a good teammate for real too. I'm a great locker room guy for real. At the end of the day, like when everybody's down, like if it's practice and everybody's down, you can always depend on me to uplift that person for real. Just encourage that person to push through practice for real. I'm a great locker room guy. I play this game with a passion. I play this game with 110% for real, and I just think that I like to push others too, and I like to push myself as well. That's what you need on a football team at the end of the day.
Definitely.
Especially in the locker room.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Obviously, I got a couple more before I want to wrap it up real quick. Tell me, Chima Dunga, what is a team or a fan base? If someone's team drafts you out there or takes you, what's the team getting in you?
You're getting a great locker room guy. You're getting a guy that cares about his teammates and loves playing this game of football. Play this game with 110%. I know how to take criticism. I know my right from wrong, and I definitely play this game with an edge and a chip on my shoulder for real. I play this game with a purpose for real, and I think any 32 teams in that NFL that gives me a shot, they definitely get one hell of a player at the end of the day.
Definitely. I mean, I agree. Obviously, like we've talked about this whole time. The last one I want to hit, I know, like you said, you played at Lackawanna, a bunch of studs there. Morgan State, you played with a couple guys, and then this last year you played with a lot of guys too. Who are some of the better guys that come to your mind in terms of guys you've gotten to play with or against your career?
At Lackawanna, like Savage, like probably the best defensive guy I probably played with at Lackawanna is Jaquan Brisker.
That's what I was gonna say.
He played at Penn State University. This dude is probably this dude's a maniac on the field. This guy plays with I don't even know what word to use. This guy played with like a tenacious force at the safety position. Like Jaquan Brisker, is just playing with Jaquan Brisker, man. It's just surreal playing with that man. That man is a dog for real.
Yeah, he might even be a first round guy this week. Obviously, he's a stud.
He might be a first round, second round guy. That dude is a dog. He's really a goon on the football
field.
He's
a freak. Yeah, no, he's all over the field.
Yeah, he really puts the fear in people whenever he hits like someone on offense for real. So yeah, Jaquan Brisker is probably he's up there with the studs I played with in college for real.
Yeah, I know at Lackawanna you guys had Jair Brown. You got a ton of studs at Lackawanna.
Yeah. Actually, in 2018, my redshirt sophomore year, we went 11-0. We honestly we got snubbed of a national championship. I'm surprised we didn't play in the national championship. We ended up playing in the bowl game called the Toro Bowl in Yuma, Arizona. It was like 103 degrees there, but we ended up winning for real. So we went 11-0. And the following year, they actually went to the Natty and kind of crapped the bed in the national championship. I think they played like Mississippi Gulf Coast at Pitt State. So I mean, yeah. But Jaquan Brisker is he's up there with studs I played with for real. He's a goon for real.
Definitely, for sure. I really appreciate you taking the time, Chima. You're a hell of an athlete and all-around player like we've been talking about. So I really appreciate you coming on, taking the time out of your day, and then everything you're doing right now.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. God bless.
Yeah, man, definitely. Hit me up if you ever need any graphics or anything on here. You know, obviously after the draft and everything, you're going to need some stuff. So like I said, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Chima Dunga, big guy, crazy athlete, one of the best small school D linemen in this draft. So keep an eye on him.
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate you.